All right, let's take a look at the market. Weekly chart here for the S&P 500. Where are we at here? 91 up here at the SMI. So that's nosebleed section. We've been talking about that for the last 2 weeks. Market is on fire. All-time new highs. Okay. So you'll notice I don't have any resistance or support or anything on here because, well, poof, it's gone. And, you know, we're flying up in the clouds. So setting some all-time new highs, which is awesome. Money to be made, no problem there. Let's talk about down here at the MACD. You can see it's 101. Now you might be thinking, is that high? Is that possible? How could it be at 101? Well, yeah, it can be. Let's look back way over here. You can see back here in May of 2021, it was 175. Isn't that crazy? Right here. Look at this number right here. 175. Look at that. And when it hit that number, which was in this area, look at this. I mean, you're talking April, and it ran all the way really to the, basically right to the new year. So that's like, you know, 8 months after it hit this crazy MACD high. It still had 8 months to go before it finally gave it up. So on the weekly chart, the MACD could absolutely continue to go higher, and this thing could, not saying it's going to, it could blast off above 5,000. That is possible. Just if we looked at the MACD only. Okay, I don't necessarily think it's going to do that, but whatever. We're going to trade whatever the market gives us. If it's up, we're going to make money going up. If it's down, we're making money going down. The only market that's really hard to make money is sideways, because then you're very limited on what you can do. You got to use basically options. And it's almost impossible to squeeze profit out of it then. But if it's going up or down, we're making money, so that's great. I don't really care which way it goes. So there is more room, historically speaking, for the MACD to go up. Okay, there is this January 14th cycle low. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit into more recent times here on the weekly chart. Okay. So that's January 14th cycle low. Don't forget that. There's another one out here, I think March 31st area. All right. So there is an anticipation the market will pull back into this, but so far that hasn't happened. Okay, over here, you can see last week it had Big Daddy forecast was at 446, which that's pretty high too. And right now, this week, it's at 420, call it 424. So it's been higher before, but not much higher. This one over here, you can see it was 445. And if we go way back, I think I showed this before, there's some that have been higher, 450. Here's one way over here, probably like 470. Yeah, 475. That's one of the highest ones I've ever seen. Way back there in 2018. Okay, so that too can go higher. Could potentially go higher. Okay, let's take a look at the daily chart. Right, so here on the daily, you can see we set an all-time new high today for the futures, 4821.5. Awesome. If I remember this morning, well, when we look at the trade of the day here in a little bit, it was right at the open of the intraday. I knew the market was going to go up. I could tell by the action pre-market, but we'll look at that in a minute. So we got January 8th, January 16th kind of area here for the cycle low here. Of course, over here on the SMI, we're at almost 86. This is probably the second highest I've seen it in 5 years on the daily chart anyway. And then here on the MACD, yeah, 92. This is like seriously high. Both of these are just like pegged. They can't go too much higher. I mean, 92 is like blistering. So weekly says there's more room. The daily says we're probably going to get a dip, and then it could re-engage or go even higher, possibly. Okay. But the daily looks like to me that, you know, I've been talking about this for the last 2 weeks, just looks exhausted, but the thing just keeps marching high. We've seen this before. I think it was back in 2022 or 20. When was it? It was doing the same thing. It was marching. It was just marching. I don't have, let me see. It was almost exactly the same. The difference being the monetary policy is different now. Let me see if I can find it in here. It's the same exact type of stuff. Was it way back here? I think this was it right here, right? Yeah. So this was all this back over here. This is all back in like 2021 when it marched up to the all-time high over here. So that was here. You can see today it beat it out. But this was doing the same thing. It was just creeping up, creeping up, creeping up. At the end, it was just creeping up, creeping up, creeping up, right? Just kept creeping up day by day. You'd get 20, 30, 40 range candlesticks just bouncing up, bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. Just so, but we'll probably get a pullback in here just because of exhaustion. Yeah, amazing. I mean, here it is over here at 92. And it pulled back super hard. This was August of 2022. It pulled back super hard right here. Man, it made a huge pullback. So on the daily, like I said, it just looks like to me this thing is about to pop. Okay. And let me just bring in the universe indicator, which I'm not going to say what it means to the public, but here's the universe indicator. This was just, when was this? This was, yeah, 4 trading days ago, 3 or 4 trading days ago, we had this huge spike. And yeah, this has meaning. Pretty significant meaning right here. So if you want to know what that means, become a member. Stick around to the end of the video and I'll tell you how to become a member. Well, on the daily, for the members, I'm still going to say the same thing. Don't be afraid to trade. Of course, trade, make profit. I would keep the positions kind of small, you know, maybe medium at the max because we are way up there and it could pull back. You know, I'm not saying be afraid to trade. Definitely take advantage of the market marching upward for sure. Just be smart. Right, I like to keep my positions kind of smallish when it's sitting way up here at all-time highs. And of course, you know, you have to understand what risk management really is. You know, what is your tolerance? And what are you doing to mitigate if it starts pulling back? What are you going to do? If you're in a long position, how are you going to handle that? You're just going to get emotional, go crawl in a corner and cry, curl up in a little ball, or do you have a plan? So you have to understand risk management, what your tolerance is for risk, and what are you going to do to mitigate if the market pulls back against your position? Because it could do it, right? It could do it at any time. So just be aware of that. That's kind of my opinion because I don't give advice, but my opinion is I like small to medium-sized positions, long, and we'll talk about the GITTAS Plus indicator here on the trade of the day. So let's go look at the trade of the day. Okay, so here we are on the 5-minute chart, and what I want to say to the members right now is, and the public, you know, like I said, if you want to become a member, stick around to the end of the video. But for the members, some of you may be asking, well, how come we haven't really seen that many GITTAS Plus indicator, you know, coming up with indications lately? Whenever, and I've talked about this before, it's really important to understand this. If you're not seeing the GITTAS Plus indicator, either on the 5-minute, the 15-minute, the 1 hour, showing much indications coming up, that means the market's very strong in a given direction. And you can probably trade with some pretty good confidence in that direction. That makes sense? So we don't need to figure out what the direction is right now, right? Everybody knows the direction is to the moon, at least for the moment, right? For the moment, the last week or two, whatever it's been, 2-3 weeks, it's been to the moon, right? We're going straight up. That's great. Whenever you get those kind of conditions, the GITTAS Plus indicator isn't going to do much because it doesn't need to. Right? Everything's obvious. Just trade long. Now, my opinion is, let me get rid of this. We're looking at the daily drawing sets. Let me get rid of that. My opinion is you should be looking at the hourly chart because it has the cycle lows on there. Because you still want to time your entries, right? And maybe even your exits. But really the entries, you want to time them. And the hourly cycle low is going to help you know where those lows are at. Even if it's not much of a low, it doesn't really matter. The point being that you want to maximize your profits. You don't want to be getting in the markets. You don't want to be taking along when the hourly chart is saying, hey, there's about the cycle lows coming in, right? So use the hourly chart during this time to help you figure out when to go long. Okay, that's what I do. So look at the trade of the day. Yeah, there was something over here about 5:30 in the morning, and it wasn't wrong, was it? I mean, if you're up pre-market, this was a great indication. My goodness, the whole day was just blast off, right? In the middle of the day here is typical. When you're at all-time highs, once you get past the morning session, it just sits there and chops sideways. You see this? It just chops sideways, like within this like 10-point range. Literally chop between 48.10 and 48.20 for like hours, from 10 to 2, maybe even to 3. Right? Once it got past like the 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock hour, it just sat in this 10-point range area. So you could do some scalps in here. That's about it. Okay, but this is really the trade of the day. What I want you to notice right now is you don't really need the Giddens Plus indicator when the market's this strong, because you're just going to buy the dips. I mean, that's kind of cliche, but it's just true when the market's this strong. Yeah, a little bit what's called, this is called a pre-indication, and you'll see those come up. That's saying that there could be possibly an indication of a trade that's going to come up like that, like this one over here. But sometimes they won't materialize, and that's fine. I don't normally trade based on this kind of a weak signal, but you don't need it in this very bullish market. You want to buy the dip. Well, how does that work? Well, the SMI came all the way down. This was about 8:30. I was watching this very carefully at the open of the market, and it went up like that. Oh, man, it's just time to get in. It just went to the moon. Boom. Look at this. Right, this was 15 points, a 15-point shot, but I am even a little bit more. You literally could just enter right there, and the MACD just joined in on the fun. Okay, you don't want to be taking along when it's up here, right? This is craziness. No take along up there. No do. Okay, down here, when it got down here, it might be all right to take along right there. There's no Giddens Plus indication going on. But again, remember, if you're not seeing any Giddens Plus indication in any of the charts, I didn't say just the 5-minute chart, any chart, especially for days on end. That's what I really mean. If you're not seeing them Giddens Plus indications coming up for days on end, and the market's this strong, the inverse to that is the market could be very weak and it could do the same thing. If the market was going straight down for days on end, you might not get much Giddens Plus indication because there's no need for it. It's obvious. Just keep trading short in that case. Right? But I wouldn't take a long position up here. I'd wait till it's down here. Take the long right here. Come as soon as it curls up, which puts you right in this area. Okay, kind of choppy chop, kind of choppy chop chop, and it finally makes its way up there pretty high near the end of the day. But even in here, you know, there was 5 to 7 to 8 points in this choppy day right in this area if you just bought it over here. Right? It's maybe like 4 points here. It pulls back. It goes up again. Right? That's just, this is like this whole 4-hour period in here. The crazy 4-hour period, right? 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 hours total, something like this, 3.5, 4 hours. This is just very scalpish kind of stuff. It's not a whole lot of opportunity right in the middle of the day, but there was at the open of the market. But bam, which is very common when markets go into all-time new highs. The market will open up and it'll take off like the first hour or two. Now that may not happen every day, but you just need to be need to have an understanding when the market's pushing for all-time new highs. It's just going to inch up day by day, little tiny days, just inching up little by little. 20, 30, 40 point days. That's all you're going to get, and usually it's right when it opens up. Morning session is where you make the money. Okay, it's very common. We've seen this. We saw this when they had loose money policy and they were just dumping money into the market. All right. So that's kind of your trade of the day right here. This was the really true trade of the day, which paid really very nicely, by the way. But even if you didn't do that, you didn't really need it. You just need to buy the dips. Now, I wouldn't get too comfortable with that pattern. Just buying the dips and going long. Okay, it's working. That's going to work for now. But when you start seeing Giddens Plus indicators popping up again on the streaming charts, the 5 to 15 minute and the 1 hour for the members, that's when you need to pay attention. That means the behavior of the market's probably starting to change and it's going to start pulling back. So just keep an eye on the streaming charts for that. The Giddens Plus indicator will start telling you, hey, whoa, something's going on here. You'll start seeing them more frequently. All right. Also want to say there's a lot of data coming out right now that's starting to lean towards we're going to see a recession anywhere from 12 to 24 months. All right. The only thing that we're really kind of in recessionary numbers right now that are happening, but it hasn't hit the job market yet, but it will. So when we start seeing jobless claims or unemployment claims go up, that's when you're going to see a recession at the United States, or probably even the world. But it's going to hit the United States here probably 12 to 24 months. I'm just telling you that now because all the data suggests that's what's going to happen. Things are great right now, and that's awesome. Take advantage of it, whether you're working a job, whether you're trading the market, whatever. But the parade ain't going to last forever. Now, the market will do what the market does, okay? Stock market's going to do what it does. But just be prepared that I think we're going to see a recession anywhere from 12 to 24 month period. We're going to start really seeing the recession kick in. All right. Whoever becomes president, it might be Donald Trump, might not. Whoever inherits this mess from the Democrats and the socialists, and that's right, I'm not afraid to say it. I don't care. People, if you don't like the videos because I'm blaming the Democrats, don't watch the video. I don't care. The Democrats are horrible. I mean, just absolutely horrible. What they've done to the United States in the last 3 years is despicable. Massive illegal immigration going on, super mega inflation going on, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. 2 wars going on. You want to know who messed up the United States? Look at the Democrats. You got your own self to blame. If you're a Democrat, you're part of the problem. I don't care if you don't like it. Too bad. Just go change to some other channel. You voted for this garbage, and we're in the middle of it. And we're going to get a recession because of people like you voting for this mess. But anyway, I believe we're going to see a recession in 12 to 24 months. It could come a little sooner. But this, just looking at the data, this is very typical what we're seeing right now. Okay. And so just keep that in your back burner. There's going to be some issues coming in the United States pretty strong in a year to 2 years. Okay. All right. So you want to become a member? That's great. There's instructions just below this video on YouTube. Make sure you read the instructions very carefully so you don't have any problems joining. Once you do that, click on the link. It's going to bring you over to Get a Server. Then you click on Server Shop. It's going to bring you over to here. $7.99 a month. Now, a lot of my members tell me they make anywhere from $100 to $300 to $400 a day. Okay, as a matter of fact, I had several members today, at least one or more members today tell me they made at least a couple $100 today. These are small retail accounts. Okay, so $7.99. Okay, it's coin to them, right? It's just small change for them to make use of the service and use the streaming charts and the Get Us Plus indicator and all the other things that come with the service. Let's talk about what comes with the service. You get the streaming charts. So when you join, you come down here. You're going to click on S&P 500 stream, and there is the 5-minute to 15-minute and 1-hour streaming charts, and the Get Us Plus indicators on there. And on the hourly chart, as I talked about earlier in this video, is some cycles. So you're going to have to take some time to learn what cycles are if you don't know what those are already. Okay, whenever there's an alert on any one of those streaming charts for the S&P 500, on the Get Us Plus indicator, it sends an alert over here to this S&P 500 channel. So even if you're not watching the stream, you still get alerted on the app. You just right click on this channel right here, set notifications on, and you'll get notified. If it's on your mobile phone, you'll get dinged. Maybe you have it on vibrate, whatever you have it on. Okay, this Discord app can be loaded on a desktop PC, can be loaded on a laptop. It can work on a mobile device. Just like I said, make sure you read the instructions first before you join. Okay. Okay, in addition to the streaming charts and the alerts that go for the S&P 500, we also have alerts that go for the gold, the crude, oil, and stock alerts. Now, these don't have streaming charts, but they still get alerts. Okay, so the stock alerts are the top 30 stocks of the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. So that's really, really nice. If you trade gold or crude oil, these are more futures trading. Okay, then there's alerts on there as well. Okay, premium symbols. Every night, Monday through Thursday, I put premium symbols. These are symbols that could be future symbols, stocks that are optionable, industries, and symbols that look like they're getting ready to be shortable. Okay, so there could be as much as 4 files in there. Sometimes it might be only 2 or 3, just depends on what's going on that day. Okay, but that's where all the symbols I put in there every day at the close, basically right around the close of the market or a little bit after. Okay, currency. This channel, occasionally I trade mostly future currency. I might trade Forex once in a while, but I don't really trade that much anymore. I trade mostly futures, so this could be the British pound, it could be the euro, it could be like the Aussie dollar, whatever. Sometimes I'll trade, I'll put something in there. Okay, every night I send out emails, so if you want to get the nightly email, make sure you put your email address in the emails only channel, and you'll get a email with the S&P 500 chart attached to the email, and you get a few sentences of my opinion about what I think the market's going to do. Okay, including, remember I showed the universe indicator earlier in this video? Well, I usually talk briefly just about what I think that indicator means for the market. Okay. Sometimes it's very, very accurate. Other times it's not quite as accurate, but it's very helpful indicator. Okay. Fixed income. Sometimes I trade corporate bonds, I'll put in there what bond I'm buying. Of course, in this inflationary type of economy, there's also CD rates in there. And I have a savings account that's paying me over 5%. That's also in there as well. So if you go in there, you'll see it. If you want, take advantage of any of those opportunities, you can. Okay, S&P 500, this is obviously just chat going on for S&P 500. And if you have a support issue, you can put it in the member chat. These two channels are just basically general member chat and stuff like that going on. If you have a support issue specifically to email, then go ahead and put it in this channel here, obviously. But everything else, if it's a support issue, just put it in chat and I'll pick it up. Okay, this is the only channel that's not for members. Everything else here is members. All this is members only. Okay, this was the only one to open up to the public, and there's really nothing in there. It's like, hello, hi, welcome to the server kind of thing. That's it. Okay, so if you have a support issue, don't put it in there. Put it in member chat, all right? Okay, make sure you read the rules. Please read the rules. In here is going to be the rules about the refund. Okay, about refunds. And here is the be nice to everybody else rules. And in here is also a disclaimer that I'm not a financial advisor and I only give my opinion. All right, so you got to read the rules. That's up to you to read them. I'm telling you about them right here. I want to hear you crying or complaining about refunds or anything else. Everything about the rules are in there, okay? All right, that's pretty much it. Like I said, if you want to join, click the link, come to get a server, click on server shop, come over here, $7.99. You know, to be honest with you, I'd pay for like 3 months. I mean, it's 25 bucks. Invest in yourself a little bit here, right? And I wouldn't even trade the first month. I would learn how to use the streaming charts. I would understand what exactly is cycle analysis on both the daily and the hourly chart. I would try to understand how to use the Gittins Plus indicator along with the other indicators on the streaming charts and begin to, utilize the service to your benefit. I would not be in a hurry. This isn't the lotto. We're not playing Texas Hold'em poker all in. Okay, you want to become a great trader. That takes some time and some understanding. All right. Okay, I think that pretty much covers everything. Happy trading, everybody. And God bless you. We'll talk to you all real soon again next time.